Okay.
Sorry about your afternoon, but we'll
No, carry on.
Okay, we'll start recording. Well, Chris, that goes without saying, that was a hugely disappointing afternoon.
Yes, it was, and probably for me the biggest disappointment after starting okay the first bit. We concede a really poor goal that gives them the sort of lift that they need, and probably after the disappointment of losing midweek, one thing that we wanted to be was make sure that we were solid and compact. So to lose a goal at that stage was disappointing, but we weren't good enough in a first half period, and it took them till the second half for us to come out, change the attitudes, change the way that we wanted to play, and then we was in a game, and at 2-1 we were the team that were in really good momentum and comfortable and confident that we could then push on from then. An awful decision, I thought, on the penalty. So it certainly changes the mood of the game, and we weren't good enough after that to turn that one around and not concede again.
Let's just focus on that penalty decision for a second, Chris, because obviously I'm back here watching it on the TV. Never looked at penalty at all. What was your view of it in real time then?
In real time, it absolutely didn't look a penalty. But we're a fair way away, and a lot of times it doesn't, and then when you get the replay, it proves you're wrong. But having seen it again and lots of different angles, and there's not one that indicates to me. So the lad's gone down, and if anything, we had some staff that were very close to it when what they expected was the lad to get booked for simulation. That's what they expected. So for him to give a penalty in them circumstances, it is real poor refereeing, considering where the referee was. And of course it was at a time, probably in our best period of the game.
It clearly changed the flow, didn't it, of the second half. But I just want to go back to something you said, Chris, about the first half and how at half-time you needed to change attitudes. That's not a good position for you to have to be in, is it, to have to change attitudes at half-time? It should be right in the first half, shouldn't it? No,
not always. I mean, you're up against a team that play a certain way. They're in confident mood, even though they made lots of changes because of where they are at the league. And I thought we needed to work harder in that first half period. And and that's some of that's just about the fundamentals. Our quality, they pressed, and we found it difficult to get out at times. But I think we needed to stop them playing as much as what they did. And sometimes that's about a positional thing. Sometimes it's about players not sure whether to press or not. But I just needed more energy from the team in that first half period.
Does it disappoint you that you didn't get that? I mean, there's a lot of players in there, Chris, who are looking to get into your, for want of a better word, your first team, play regularly, who aren't doing it at the moment. Would you have been expecting more from them in that first half?
Yes, and I think everybody would have done. I mean, we're up against a good side. They made changes, but they're in confident mood at the moment, and I think that shows. So, are we going to be a better footballing team than them today? Then that's what you're aiming for. But certainly, if you can't be, you're away from home at a place where they're doing very well. And what you've got to be able to do, you've got to be able to nullify their game more than what we was able to do. And that's about working hard, team shape, and everything. And sometimes you can do that better. Sometimes you don't do it as well, but they don't capitalise on it. But as soon as you concede that goal or that second goal, it makes it far more difficult. It means you've got to open up that little bit more.
And they're horrible goals again. I know we made this point on Wednesday night, didn't we, Chris? But defensively, those first half goals, you'll have wanted your players to be putting Swansea under more pressure in those positions, wouldn't you? The second goal, for instance.
Well, I think the second one is from a corner that comes out, and I think what happens is that on the balance of, sometimes it's a player making a judgment call, and I think what happened is that in his honesty, I think Luke Freeman to go and put pressure on the ball, I think he's gone to the ball, and of course once that one ball that goes square, you need somebody to come out and block that one, and it didn't happen. But the first goal, if anything, was perhaps that a little bit more disappointing for me, because it was a run-of-the-mill ball down into the channel and across, and we had two, I think, opportunities to do better with it. So probably for me that first goal would have been more disappointing than the second one.
It's a really chastening afternoon, Chris. It's a horrible way to go out of the FA Cup, but I suppose what you have to do now as a club is recover from that and make sure it doesn't affect the forthcoming league matches. Yeah,
well, I mean that's the most important thing at the moment. But right now it's a disappointment. It's a disappointment because we're not far after the game, and what we wanted was an opportunity to get through to the next round. We never gave ourselves a chance, I think, by goals that we conceded in the first half period, and then it's an uphill battle. But the priority, of course, at this moment is very much about making sure that we pick up league points, so that it makes our league position look that little bit better. The players have no choice, and our game is always about bouncing back from either bad performances or bad results. Today's been a performance that didn't warrant getting a result, and of course a bad result. And the most important game at this moment is next Saturday at home, where certainly our form had been good up until midweek. And we need to make sure that we show more than what we showed today.
Just finally, Chris, we should ask you about your new signing, Filip Kravinovic, who you finally secured late last night. How pleased are you to have him on board?
No, I mean, really delighted. I mean, we've spoke obviously regular before games and after games, and a lot of what we've spoke about is that desire to have somebody that can help us out with the offensive part of our game. And that's either getting into goal scoring positions or being creative in that final third. And he's a player that knows the division, having played, of course, in the Championship last season with West Brom, and certainly his age and ability he's got. We very much hope that he can help us in the area that we need the most help, I think.